Maybe I'll have to upgrade when I get to your level.
This probably does the trick, man.
Nah.
I feel like it's negligible, the differences.
Yeah, I listened to them back after Seshi's one, and I was like, yeah, this is crispy.
Yeah?
This is nice.
Decent.
But yeah, to intro it, as you all know, I've done one episode with myself, and just to intro kind of a new chapter in my life and the brand and the community. It's just, for now, it's just strictly friends that do a lot of cool shit. But yeah, today we've got the one and only Mr. TLR, Trap Lord Ross.
What's good, man? Cheers for having me here.
Nah,
I'm just loving your studio, bro. Your studio is sick.
It's a little vibe, a little kind of ghetto underground vibe. It's a little bit ratty, but we like it like that.
It's
Not
fire,
too clean.
This is like 017 No Jumper. I feel like I went back in time. I never got to go to like the classic No Jumper studio. You ever go there?
No, I never went there, but I feel like, well, for me, I mean, you know, I'm a SoundCloud fucking fiend, bro. I'm a SoundCloud rap fiend. And obviously that was a hub of a lot of it. So just even breathing that content all day, every day, the X shit, the Juice shit, Lil Peep, all like legendary studio. So even to be compared to that, that's a big dub. But yeah, we're trying to create a little character and a little vibe.
I feel like these kind of tables and like the white brickwork, it just says that it's just got that like SoundCloud era vibe, like, you know what I mean? You can tell
a little grittiness.
You can tell some lean's been poured in this type of room, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, right there.
I'm saying,
or some prime.
Off the prime,
There's
no lean in there, people.
Nah,
that's not really how we
UK.
roll it. Got the prime on deck though. Appreciate you getting this for me, man. This is fire.
£2,
bro.
None of that resale shit. None of that resale shit.
I brought a prime in like a little bodega type store, like maybe like a month ago, for like £10 a bottle.
Tenner. Was it worth a tenner?
I really like prime. So listen, not to flex, but Big KSI sent me a prime
I saw
care
you
package.
got a little chest.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a treasure chest.
Big JJ blessed me with a package. But I tell you what, looking back, man, I feel like he kind of finessed me because he sent me like, I think like 6 crates of prime.
Wow.
And I got hooked on the shit. I'm a fiend for prime now. And now I find myself in bodegas buying prime for £10 a bottle like a crackhead. So
the market share is crazy.
I need JJ to hit me up with a lifetime supply because I feel like he got me hooked on a little taste, and I just think it's fire. I think it's such a good drink.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's healthy or not because their whole thing is like it's kind of good for you. It hydrates you. It's sweet as shit. So I'm not even sure if it's like a healthy thing.
But I think it's quite low calorie. I think for the level of sweetness that it has,
man, it's crazy sweet.
The calories are actually surprisingly low. But I feel like it's not too fucked up because it's not 0 calorie. It's not like super sweet with some like what is it, aspartame or something?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the stuff they're trying to ban that now. That stuff's always a bit weird. Diet Coke and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
But I think it's fire, man. I'm a prime fiend.
Like you could do like a TLR prime collab or even a TLR drink or some shit.
Bro, I would love to do a drink. If I was going to...
What product would you...
I was thinking the other day, I would love to do... And it's kind of a shame. I feel like Andrew Tate kind of spoiled it. But like, I've always loved sipping sparkling water.
Really?
And I feel like Tate, his whole like sparkling water thing, like kind of killed it. But I think a high-end sparkling water brand would be fire. I like drinking Voss. You know, you get Voss in a glass bottle, like a little sparkling Voss with a grey top. Hits the spot.
Yeah, a little TLR Voss.
Bro, I don't know.
TLR sparkling.
I don't know whether my audience are like... I was about to say, I don't know whether they're water drinkers. I think they probably do drink water. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. I always think like, what would be the sickest Trap Law product to drop? And I'm
not sure sparkling water is the one.
I just think it would be fire, but I don't know if that is the one. But like, I don't know, man. You're the product guy. I need you to tell me what products
we're going to cook up. I think firstly you should drop some of your own homemade lean.
Homemade lean, like bathtub lean. That's not a bad shout. I've never even sipped lean, so this is the thing. Before I poison my audience with addictive liquid heron, I think I need to at least engage in some of it myself.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I don't think it's a thing in the UK. I tried it once, and someone was like, "Yeah, bro, this shit is the good lean." I was like, "All right, let's try it." It was really nice, but that shit did not do anything. It did as much as a prime did to me.
Really?
I don't think it was like a lean thing. I'm not sure we get that good shit over here.
I feel like just from listening to hip hop, I can tell there's like lean snobs.
Oh yeah,
people oh, this is real ack.
And they flex on it as well. It's like 10
grand
G's
a pint and
yeah.
shit. Like, what is it, like £1,000 a line?
Yeah,
I don't even know what a line is. I hear Moneybag Yo talking about I poured a line in my drink. I'm like, how much is a line?
Why do you know so much about rap?
Bro, I've just always listened to rap since I was a kid.
Like you're always referencing shit whenever, like, we're for reference. Me and Tialago are back a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
We started doing a couple little projects together, and every time I'm with you, you're always referencing like some rapper, some artist, some producer, or just some history of hip hop, and I'm just like, man, this guy's like, he knows every in and out of this world.
It's like
I don't get it because
I just like live and sleep and eat and breathe this stuff, man. Like all I ever do is listen to rap. I don't really listen to other genres of music. Like my job is literally watching and dissecting and analyzing like hip hop history and media. So like this is all I've got to draw on, man. Like literally, like, you know, all the music I was listening to in the car on the way here, like that's all the information I'm consuming. So I guess like I can't help myself. I'm constantly throwing in rap references, but at least you know what I'm talking about. When I meet other people that don't listen to hip hop fanatically, like they don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, yeah, facts. I think that's kind of, I think like, even now with like how much, I guess, like success you've had on your channel, I still feel like people question like your knowledge about rap and if you're actually a rap fan and this and that.
Yeah, it's true. If I was just thinking a second ago, I was like, this is going to be like a nice interview because it's going to be like the first interview in a while that they haven't like been attacking me and trying to like trick me.
I don't know, I got a couple.
Yeah, hit me. You can hit me with the culture vulture questions, but like, no, that's the thing, bro. It's like I genuinely do really love this stuff, and like I'm just all about hip hop and rap culture and rap history, and like that's what I'm into. So I'm not gonna. Like, you know, I might just think of something and quote a Jay-Z lyric, and that's just because that's all I'm like. That's what I mean. I don't listen to that much Jay-Z now, but like that's all I was raised on. So this is just how I think. Like this is just what I'm into.
Wait, so you were raised on it? So your parents or whoever was
like big brothers. I had two older brothers, and they were just both super into rap growing up. Because we were like born in London, and then my brothers grew up in London way more than me, so they would have been having much more like diverse influences, I guess, with like hip hop and I guess UK rap. US rap, just all of that stuff. But then when I was like 5, you know, our family, we moved. So like there wasn't really any hip hop influence, but everything my brothers were listening to, you know, I just was stealing their CDs and just listening to Jay-Z, DMX, Eminem, like even like UK, like Skinny Man, Mark B and Blade, Jest, like all this just like obscure and famous rap that just a 5-year-old probably shouldn't be listening to.
Do you think that even to go deeper, where did they get it from? Because who are they getting their music from?
You know what? That's a really good question, man. I've never really gone deep. Like, because
I'm trying to figure out like the timeline or like the kind of the tree of it all. It's got to like start somewhere. I don't even like. I wonder where they like picked it up from, because maybe it's like
question.
Like MTV, Channel U kind of days.
Yeah, Channel U was a big thing in my house for sure.
Yeah,
watching Channel U with my bros, and like.
So maybe it was just this.
I don't know. I don't know how they got it though. That's the thing. I'd have to assume. I need to ask them, but I'd have to assume it was like a London thing, because it wasn't just US rap. There was always a lot of. Well, people say Croydon's not London, but Croydon's
Croydon, bro. Yeah, Croydon's yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, right? Croydon, like, come on, they're basically born in London. They got to give me that.
Like, you don't like having followers or like subscribers?
I like having attention on like the work that I make. Like, I like making a sick doc that people are going to watch and go crazy about. But like, I don't feel like I need the limelight on me specifically. Like, I don't feel like it makes sense.
But you're a personality though. Like, your whole aura and personality adds to your videos. Like, an unexpected white nerdy dude making like documentaries about these gritty hip hop, like pretty deep documentaries, like complete opposite end of the scales. I think maybe you don't even see it like that because it's your thing, but I think that's a big part of your like content. I think obviously the facts and the documentary is most of it, but how you come across and how you say everything and your personality, just how you present it, is a big part of it, man. Like, I think you're playing it down a little bit in that sense, like. And I guess that's just a part of what you've built up.
Well, I appreciate all of that, man. You know, I feel like I guess it's hard for me because it's almost like, I feel like I used to put more personality into my videos. Like I used to have more jokes, and I used to make it more about myself, and like, just like I would insert myself into the story more. And I feel like at a certain point when I start doing way more serious content and like the more, you know, almost like true crime gangster rap style of documentary, I felt like I had to take things more serious and kind of remove myself from the story a bit. And I feel like because I've had so much more success since I've removed myself from the stories a little bit, I guess I feel like I see it more about the story rather than me. And I actually feel like sometimes I feel like if I see other creators like insert themselves into the story too much, I feel like it almost takes away from like from the underlying story that's really important.
I do hear that.
But that's not to say that like, yeah, you know, I got the second channel and like I like to put my personality out there, and you know, I used to do like stand-up comedy and stuff. So like, you know, I am a person. I like to display my personality and be fun and have fun. But I think I have an awareness that like the most loved stuff that I've put out there is stuff that's not really about me. It's stuff that it's my opinion. It's like my opinion and my research and like what I have to say, but on a much bigger topic that is more important than me. I guess it's the way I see it.
What do you think about these people that say like the Fed stuff and shit like that? Because I obviously get like, I mean, I know Vlad gets it a lot as well. But like, I don't know, what do you think about that? Because that would kind of, it's kind of funny, but it kind of pissed me off. Like, I know you put in months for like the research and the production, and then it comes out, and I don't know, what's that like when you just put in like literally like months of your time, and you know, then they say all this kind of shit. Because I've never actually asked you like.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think the Fed one doesn't really bother me because, like, the same with Vlad. It's like people have always called Vlad a Fed, and for me, it's almost like if you just think about it for a minute, like they're saying he's a Fed because he's so good at what he does. He's such a good interviewer and researcher and question asker that he gets such good, honest answers from people that they think he must be the FBI because he has all this info. So, like, if you set aside the fact that it's kind of insulting to suggest that he is somehow a cop trying to arrest these people that he makes content with is just ridiculous. But at the same time, underneath it, it's almost like it is actually a compliment. It's sort of like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But it's like to be like, oh, you think I'm so good at my job that you think I must be the police. Like I must be
going that crazy.
I must have access to like the FBI's database because my research is so good. Like that's kind of a compliment. Yeah. But at the same time, I guess you're right. Like it sort of does belittle the fact that I do spend months finding this info out.
Yeah, bro.
And like I don't just download the Fed database and just record a video out of it.
Yeah, you ain't got a police database. Oh yeah.
Bro, that would make things so much easier, bro. I wish I had that, but I don't. So that's not how it works. But like, I guess, you know, obviously some of the wider criticism of me, you know, I don't appreciate, and I don't. This is why I feel like it's funny because I feel like people almost think that they're gonna like catch me out or like get me on like, oh, we're gonna hit him, we're gonna call him a culture vulture or call him the Feds or like say that his content is like hurting the black community is what people say to me a lot, and it's kind of like. For me, it's just sort of really frustrating because I feel like I put so much effort into these stories. Like, I love hip hop, I love rappers, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm into this shit. I listen to hip hop every day, every new album. I'm in the car listening to the new Uzi album, the new Band OK album, like the new Thug, the new Gunna. Like, I'm just keeping up with this stuff because I love it. I'm passionate about it. And yeah, I'm a nerd and I'm obsessive. You have to be to make 3 hours worth of content. But like, the idea that like, the fact that I'm out here doing this and that I'm good at making videos and that I'm good at researching, like, makes me a Fed or makes me racist. Like, I mean, you know, it sucks and it is like frustrating because I feel like it's just not true and it's not reasonable. But then at the same time, I think once you have enough success, there's always going to be haters. No one's got millions of followers or, you know, no one's on the radio or on TV not getting some amount of hate, some amount of people that say, oh, screw this guy. So that's part of the success. Like that's like the DJ Khaled like Suffering from Success album. Like, you know, it's like part of being successful is you got some level of suffering, you're gonna get some level of hate. But like I'm very confident in myself and like my own intentions in that I know I don't mean any harm, and like I know that I am just researching stuff that's on Google. And at the end of the day, if you've got somebody that's committed a crime and they're bragging about it all over Google and Instagram and Facebook, I think I should be absolutely entitled as a fan to put my analysis on that.
Do you not see the side of the story though where, let's take King Von, the documentary, the side where obviously his family and friends are looking at you like, of course it is all on Google, you're not making calls up to this person and this police station and making deals here and there, but do you not see from their side, you know, they see Trap Lord Ross on YouTube getting millions of views on a documentary about their son, their friend, blah, 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 knowing that, oh shit, this guy's getting paid from my friend, my son, whatever. Do you not see their side of the story where it's a little bit, and like, I don't know if you do, but even like, because I guess this is like a comment that you probably get quite a lot, like not giving back to the black community, because I guess like a huge part of your career, or most of your career, is built on black culture. And do you not see that side of it, or what's your like take on?
I feel like it's if those people, Von's family, are going to be upset about someone like me talking about the things that Von said, you know, I feel like they need to have consideration to the 7 people that Von allegedly killed. You know, I felt really uncomfortable about the fact that so many people have come out to say my documentary's cap and that I'm putting dirt on Von's name, when Von was running around saying that he'd killed 7 people his whole life. So, you know, what was Von's mum feeling when her son was making millions off of saying that he killed 7 people? That, if you look into it, it seems like he likely did. You know, I don't feel any shame of exposing Von, for not even exposing him of stuff that he said his entire life. I've got 7 bodies. You know, we kill the ops. We keep spinning the ops. We're trying to kill the ops. We hate anyone from 63rd. Like, damn near trying to commit genocide on the people from 63rd with this murderous energy all day long. And Von's guy actually killing people. Like, I'm just making a documentary about it. You know, where were people asking what did Von do with his millions that he made for the community to help? You know what I mean? What are the people that are actually committing murder, rapping about it, and becoming millionaires? Like, I'm not a millionaire. A lot of people seem to think I'm a millionaire. Maybe one day, like, hopefully get there.
You're comfy.
I'm not a millionaire. I'm definitely comfy, and like, you know, I'm living good. I can pay myself. I can pay my team. Like, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, but I'm not a millionaire. But I just don't think that I have a responsibility to contribute to like Von's funeral. I think he's a bad guy, you know, and I think he killed a lot of people. And I think that ultimately, these individuals that are saying my documentary is cap, they're gaslighting the families of the actual victims of people that never got justice, that were allegedly killed by Von, this guy. So I personally, it's a weird one, because I feel like all the attacks of me, they're almost like, they're so devoid of self-awareness, of just like, Traplaw Ross, you know, it's so wrong that he's putting dirt on this man's name who's dead. And it's just like, what about all the people he killed? Like,
but okay, not Von then. Okay. What about the rest of the documentaries which are majority on like African American rappers?
Well, then that's the thing though. It's like, this is a funny one, because I think people hit me with the sort of the black community thing quite a lot.
Keep talking.
I'll totally admit that I would say the majority of my videos are about black artists. That's not by design. That's not from some fascination with black people. That's because the hip hop scene is dominated by black artists.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know why that is. There's probably some good reasons. There's probably reasons why other professions are dominated by white people or various other races. Like, I'm not sure why that is, but at the same time, I just love hip hop. Like, I've never really been able to understand that. I've always loved hip hop. I've always looked up to black people and white people. And it's funny because so many people have come at me for the race thing recently. And I'm just like, okay, what were my last 3 videos about? King Von, black guy who was a gangster. Eminem, white guy who was a rapper. Cameron Terrell, a white gangbanger that tried to get into the hood, basically off the back of like his wealth. And then before that, what did I think it was a Mo3. That's another black gangster rapper. But it's like the idea that like, he's just like being a vulture and picking the bones of the black community. I just don't agree with that, because it's like, I've covered white artists. I've done Slim Jesus. I've done Stitches, Eminem. I've done tons of stories on. I think I've done 2 videos on Jack Harlow. Like, I've covered hella white artists. I've probably covered as many, a good enough proportion of white artists that's probably representative of like the wider makeup of hip hop, in that, you know, hip hop covers, I don't know, like, I'd be guessing here, but like, what would you say? Maybe hip hop's like, it's probably like 70% black artists, like it's a black dominated subgenre.
Yeah.
And you know, but there are still talented white artists in there. So I just don't feel like just this idea that it's like, oh, you should somehow like people saying it's like, you should donate money to the black community, like what, just give money to random black people? Like, what does that actually mean? And why isn't Dirk, Von, Youngboy, like, why aren't the people at the very top that are the actual black artists that are actually
making crazy money,
but also promoting a dangerous lifestyle? Like, let's be real, I do not glamorize what King Von did. My entire documentary is basically casting judgment on the fact that this guy allegedly killed 7 people and became a millionaire off the back of it. I think that's personally bad. Like, I think that the record labels, I think Empire should be paying money back into the community.
Yeah,
not
these
me.
labels
like,
are...
why should I
yeah.
be... Like, it's like Trap Lil Ross should build a community centre in O'Block because he made money off the King Von documentary. Well, what's Von done apart from give guns to people to do murders? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe a book bag drive when they've got a case going on. Like Lil Durk, you know, he's putting on a turkey drive every time a new charge drops or something. You know what I mean? When there's a bit of bad press, like it doesn't come across as genuine to me, and I just don't see why I should have a responsibility. Like, I feel like I'm honestly helping by giving sense to these stories. Like the idea that King Von is a demon, he killed all these people, and we should love King Von's the realist. Like, I'm stepping in and saying, yo, this is actually not okay. Von seemingly wasn't a good guy, and what he was doing and what he was representing was bad for the community. And I feel like it's almost like, in some ways, like, is that not enough? I don't know.
Why do you think people love like violence and killing and drugs and...
Yeah, it's a really good question. You know, the true crime genre, I think, has been just dominated entertainment for decades now. You know, whether you want to go back to like, I don't know, like the OJ Simpson trial, or like the popular true crime shows, whether on Netflix or like, you know, Making a Murderer type shows. I think for years people have been obsessed with murder. They've been obsessed with outlaws, whether it's Jesse James or King Von. People have always been obsessed with these stories of essentially people that are criminals that have decided to go against the rules of society. Because most people, I would say, like me and you, generally, we probably follow the law and we don't kill people. Like, we're not going to leave this office looking for an op to kill today.
Maybe.
Whereas someone like, maybe, you never know, you know what I'm saying? There's maybe some other podcasters we might need to get down. But like, realistically, most of us aren't doing that.
No,
and so like, it's understandable that people would be fascinated in a guy like King Von, who literally, this man appeared to be living a lifestyle where every time he went out of his front door, he was ready and willing to kill. And
for sure,
like, I feel like we're lying to ourselves if we can't admit that, like, yes, that's fascinating, you know. And again, it's not, you know, maybe it's twisted for some people, but like for me, it's not like, oh, it's this twisted fascination of murder and to destroy the black community. Like, for me, it really is just a case of like, here's this rapper that I like, who is a talented rapper, on a song talking about I kill 7 people, and the song is good, and he's seemingly not in jail. Why is this guy not in jail? He said on the song he's going to kill 7 people, or he's killed 7 people. So for me, it's like I find it difficult when people don't understand, like, and I make hip hop content. Why on earth wouldn't I sit there and be like, Jesus, this guy said he killed 7 people. Like, let me Google and see if that's true. Like, to me, that's logical. Like, if I came in here with like a mate, I brought a mate in here and I was like, yo, this is Steve. He's got 7 bodies, like, killed 7 motherfuckers.
You'd be interested in him.
You might Google him afterwards. You know what I mean? And that's not unreasonable. Just like, oh, you should just stay out of it, and you shouldn't shine a light on what's going on over here. Like, bro, if King Von was some random dude that no one had ever heard of, and I just found him on the street and started looking into his life, that's different to King Von, this guy's Billboard charting artist whose music, like, when Von was alive, I was getting paid promotions. Like, literally, the music industry was pushing this artist to me. You know what I mean? Like, there was marketing for Von. Like, there was billboards for Welcome to O'Block when it released. Like, this alleged murderer was being promoted as somebody to learn about.
Yeah, why? Why do you think people...
Well, I think it goes back to sort of like, this is the crazy thing, because it's like, now Von's dead, people want to be like, oh, he was an angel, he never did any of that stuff, it was cap.
It's twisted.
But when he was alive, all anyone was saying was, yo, this guy's the realist, he's got bodies, let's put him on a billboard and tell people to go and listen to his album all about his bodies so we can make money. Like, that's crazy, really, when you think about it, as just a concept of just like, you know, it's like, bro, I don't even know. It's
people
kind of
love people love like that escapism of like, whether it's like a rapper talking about drugs, and like, I don't do like crazy drugs, but like, I love Lil Peep and Juice WRLD. What do you think? I don't get it. Is it like the escapism? Is it like relatability, or like?
I think it's a fascination with seeing people who live on the extremes, and it actually, in many ways, like,
that's a good answer.
Seeing Lil Peep, you've got this young guy, super talented, but he's just completely twisted on drugs and makes amazing music. It's a spectacle. King Von, you've got this guy, he allegedly killed 7 people. He's making this amazing music. He's an incredible storyteller. He's been through so much shit in his life and seemingly had to kill people, but he has got this amazing ability to articulate the shit he's been through into amazing storytelling songs that bang. Like, that's an incredible spectacle. It's not that different from you watch the Olympics and you see these people where it's like, yo, this guy trains running 100-meter sprint every single day of his entire life so that he can come here today and do it in 9 seconds faster than anyone's ever done it before. And like, this guy's living on the fringes of existence in fitness. That's not much difference from like someone like Von, who was essentially living on the fringes of murder or like being a gang member. Like Von was an exceptional gang member. Like, it's a weird thing to say, but like Von was probably top 10 Chicago gang members as far as what he allegedly achieved in the streets. Like, you know, if he really killed 7 people like he says he did, there's not many Chicago gang members that can say that. He's probably top tier, and that's
like general.
That's crazy. Like that's worthy of us looking into. You know, I just watched that Netflix documentary on Arnold Schwarzenegger, and like, you know, that guy had an exceptional life that was worthy of a Netflix documentary. Yeah. He won the Mr. Universe contest all these times over. Then he became a movie star and was the Terminator and earned $100 million per film and shit. Like that, and then he became a politician. Like, that guy's life was worthy of a documentary. And Von, unfortunately, in very different ways, he was living an existence that was like top tier for what he was doing. And I think that was worthy of a documentary. And I think, honestly, like, I just feel like a lot of the criticism at a certain point is just hating because it's popular. Yeah. And if it wasn't getting so many views, no one would care.
Do you think that's why you like love hip hop, rap, the whole genre? Because not that you lived a boring life or like a life that wasn't fun or exciting or interesting, but because, like you're saying, these people, these rappers, these successful rappers or artists were like, they took life to the extreme and people were fascinated by that. Do you think a little bit of you is like, wow, these people are just so interesting, so fascinating. They literally take whatever genre it is and they go right to the edge all the way up until they're dead. Essentially, yeah. Do you think there's a little bit of that in you where you're like just fascinated by it?
I think there's a lot of truth in that, and I think for me, it was always about like success and aspiration. So yeah. I remember so vividly, like when I was a kid, you know, I used to listen to Eminem, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and these are all guys. And bear in mind, you know, Eminem's white, Jay-Z's black, but they're actually got very similar stories in the sense that Jay-Z's from the Marcy Projects, you know, it's a rough, dangerous area in New York. Like, he is lucky to even be alive. And he was a drug dealer and he made a lot of money and he got out and made music. Eminem, it's a different story, but it's got a lot of the same stuff. In a trailer park in 8 Mile, Detroit, you know, the gutter, he was working in a car factory, barely making ends meet, couldn't provide for his daughter, living in his mother's trailer. But then through rap, through the skill that he found, he was able to completely get out of that environment and go on to become one of the biggest and most successful musicians in history. Not just rapper, like
ever.
Eminem is like up there, probably does better numbers than Taylor Swift. Yeah. Probably, you know, I don't know off the top of my head, but he's up there. He's like, he's like Elvis of this generation. Yeah. Because rap wasn't around when Elvis was around. Like, Elvis might be rapping now if he was still kicking about. Who knows? But like, for me, it was always about success, and it was always this idea of like, shit, this guy from 8 Mile or this guy from Marcy or this guy from Jamaica, Queens who got shot 9 times. They can go from the most gutter, unlikely to make it out situations to being the biggest artist in the world and having success, all off the back of this little talent, rapping. And for me, bear in mind, back in those days, I just wanted to be a rapper. Like, there was a period when I was rapping, I wanted to be a young white rapper. It didn't take off for me. I wasn't popping. But at the same time, like, I tried to be a rapper because I loved rap, and I felt like what rap represented was this thing where it was like this talent that could just take you away from anything from where you started. It could take you to the top. And it was, even though it's a black dominated industry, it seemed accessible because you had people like Eminem, and like I say, even not necessarily that he became the biggest artist in the world, but even just other white artists in the UK, people like Skinny Man, that would just be like, this is a white British guy rapping. His album's in HMV on the shelf. That's success to me. So I would definitely say that I was always fascinated. I think a lot of people come at me wrong with the whole, oh, it's gangster rap, you make money off people dying. Because I would say gangster rap and drill music, it's a big trend right now. And obviously a lot of the content I do is about that, because it's not just because it's a trend and I'm following the trend, but I'm interested in it. This has never happened in hip hop before. We've never had rappers claiming 7 bodies. This is a new thing. We're in uncharted territory in hip hop in 2023. And that's just what's going on right now. But if you look at my overall catalog, even in the last year, I did a video on Eminem and his divorce, a 2.5 hour video, full documentary. It's got nothing to do with crime and drill. It's all to do with this guy is one of the greatest artists in music history, and his turbulent relationship was the inspiration for that. I think people just love to attack me on the whole gang crime thing. And it's just like, if you actually take a step back and look at my catalog, I got videos about Kanye and Kim's relationship, where I talk about how the Trump election was part of their fallout. Right. I've got the video on the Eminem wife divorce situation. Yes, I've got videos on FBG Duck getting killed, videos on Mo3, gangster rapper in Dallas, getting into a big beef and getting killed. And then I've also got videos on Slim Jesus, how basically a fake Chicago gangster became famous, a white guy, off of the music, and kind of actually built up a genuine talent and made something of it. So it's like, again, it's funny. I feel like the people that critique me the most are really unfamiliar with like my catalog or my history. Like,
yeah, you're pretty specific with what you choose, the genre, the topic.
Well, yeah, you know what though? I always pick stuff that interests me, and again, it's this, people hit me with, "Oh, you're just obsessed and fascinated with black people," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but where were you 5 months ago when I spent 2 months just watching Eminem videos? I listened to all the Eminem songs. I watched and read every interview with Eminem and his wife, and made this video. And you know what I'm saying? No one was
toxic relationship one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No one had nothing to say about that. No one was coming around saying, "Oh, are you obsessed with white trailer trash? Like, are you profiting? When are you going to donate money to the 8 Mile trailer park for culture vulturing Eminem's Detroit culture?" Like, bro, sharp. Like, I'm just making videos about what I'm into that week. If this week it's Slim Jesus, like right now it's NBA YoungBoy. Oh, man. Yes, I'm going to do a YoungBoy video. It's going to be all the gangster shit that he got up to in his career, that he was rapping about on #1 charting albums. And then next, like, I've got a couple ideas that are not... I've got a few ideas that aren't even hip-hop.
Do you run out of ideas ever?
Nah, man. There's too many ideas.
Or is it in the moment, or is it like...
The hardest thing is picking, bro, because it's like, I got like...
There's so many.
I got like 12 that I think are top tier 10 out of 10 ideas on my plate right now. And the hardest thing is picking, like, which one should I do next?
Yeah.
And like... It's tricky, man. It's tricky. The hardest thing is story selection. Like, the hardest thing, and I don't know, it's a weird one, man, because sometimes I do pick the wrong story. I mean, the Eminem thing, for example, like, I love that video and I really enjoyed researching it. But I think in hindsight, like, I think the audience would have preferred a gangster story. But I'm fascinated by Eminem. I wanted to do a 2-hour video about Eminem's career and the driving force behind it.
I was going to say that, like, when a video doesn't do as well as another video, are you thinking, well, it doesn't matter because I was just, that's what I'm into. That's what I want to make. Or nowadays, are you like, fuck, like, I didn't hit 1 million views or this or that?
It's somewhere in between the two, because I think I was upset when my Eminem video it just didn't land as, like, look, it's not all about the numbers, but I'm also trying to pick good stories that I think everyone in hip hop want to hear about. Yeah. With the King Von thing, that project was bigger than I could have ever even imagined. Like, you know, 7 million views.
7 mil.
Oh, it's crazy. It's
yeah, you can't even fathom it. Yeah.
But like, that's beyond what I thought. But like, I was on kind of a run of doing like dropping videos and getting 1 mil views, and that's not just like, oh, I just want to boost my ego to have 1 mil views. It's like, I want to be able to pick stories that I know the wider hip hop scene are into, and that 2, 3, like, I didn't know you could get 7 million on a video in a few months. I didn't know that was possible until the Von thing. Like, I would have said like 2 mil views in a month on a video is like top tier. Like, can't really get much
Did you
better.
doubt your work then? Did you like doubt?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I always doubt my work. Anytime I drop a video, I'm just like, bro.
Because you seem like mad confident, and like, you know, you're always very to the point, straight, factual with what you say. So I'm like, all right. So in his thought process, he must be the same. Like, you're very sure. But now even just hearing you saying, yeah, sometimes I doubt this or that, it's kind of crazy to hear that, because
I definitely have a lot of self-doubt as a person. I think just because, like, I don't know, in life I've had so many things go wrong, and like taken a lot of L's, and like taken on projects that didn't work out, and like tried to get things going with people and shit didn't land how I wanted it to. And so like, sometimes I really do have a lack of confidence, and like, I've dropped videos in the past that have flopped so hard.
Wow.
Like, even at this stage, I feel like I know what people want. Even the Eminem thing, it's like, look, it flopped in the sense that like it didn't do 1 mil I don't think it's even done 1 mil now, but
why does that even faze you though? Because how much was it on? Like 700, 600?
It was on 7, I think, last time I checked. But like
700,000 people.
But this is the thing though, I feel like, again, like when people are like, oh, you should donate money to these causes and stuff, it's like, bro, sometimes videos don't make money. Like, bear in mind, if I spend 2 months researching an Eminem video and it doesn't do decent numbers and make back money, that's not just me, it's like me working full time on it, researching it. Now I've got a researcher that works full time, and I've got editor working the project. It might take them a month and a half to edit that. Like, if it doesn't bang the views, like now I'm doing this thing where I'm making movies, like every video I drop's like its own movie. Like they can't, like, you know what I'm saying? If a video does 500K and it never gets over that, it's not really worth 4 people working full time on it. So it's
but why? Because 500,000 is a huge number. And I think nowadays, especially, I said this to a friend last night, everyone is just so jaded by like 100,000 or 50,000 or 500,000 because the numbers these days are fucking crazy. And I'm just like, but how can you not look at a video that's got 500, 600, 700,000 views and be like, that's crazy, Ross. Like, I smashed it.
I'm still happy with that, but at the same time, on a money point of view, it costs so much more for me to make videos now that, like, realistically, that Eminem video.
How much does it cost you for a video?
This is the thing, bro. It depends how long, like, bro. You know, and it depends, like
salary,
like me working. And bear in mind, it's like there's the amount of money I need to live. Just to live and get by and to like pay my bills and like look after my girl and like do my thing. And then there's like the amount of money that I'd like to make to be able to just do the nice stuff, like to do the bonuses and the extras and to like go out for nice meals and like go on trips or whatever. And it's like, even just me working for the bare bones minimum to pay my bills for 2 months on a project, you know, it's a few grand. And like, you know, a video does need to do decent numbers to make like 5 or 6 G's back. Right. And then that's just me. And then it's like an editor, bro, editors aren't cheap. Like, and you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into it too much, but I've been having nightmares with consistent edits recently. And it's just like, they're not cheap. I keep having this issue with editors where they won't give me a proper quote. Like, I need to know how much, like I'm going into projects and I don't even know how much it's costing me. It's like, here's an edit. How long is it going to take? Like, what's it going to cost me? And people just like, I don't know. I can't tell you. And it's like, it just gets impossible to the point of it's just like, bro, I don't even know until the video drops how much it's cost me. And then when it drops, at least in the case of the Eminem video, wasn't recouping the money for a long time to the point where it was kind of like an L. Like the first 3 months of the year this year, like were an L for me financially.
So it does become a money thing.
It's kind of like,
do you not think that takes away from the like enjoyment? I'm obviously saying I want to be breaded.
Yeah.
But do you not think it takes away from the enjoyment a bit when you're like not stressing, but you're cautious? You're like, shit, I got to make 10 G's at least from this video, and we're only going to do that if we have a slapper. It's like all these TikTok artists going in, like all these labels saying to their artists, yo, you need a TikTok song now. It's like, bro, it kind of takes the enjoyment away when you're telling me I've got to make a TikTok hit.
You know what, bro? You're probably right. And I would actually say it's a gift and a curse, because I feel like, basically, I feel like there was a point, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I really felt like I was falling off. And it was before I was doing the long content. I was doing the 20-minute videos, 15-minute videos. And the thing with those is it doesn't really matter, because I could knock out 2 15-minute vids in a week.
Yeah.
And if one flops and one does well, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not spending so much. I'm not spending months on one idea. So it didn't matter. But it did matter, because it's like, I wasn't really standing out. There was loads of other shitty channels coming through, just doing robot voice, hip hop stories, just sending some guy on Fiverr to research on Reddit and just hash out a video 15 minutes. So I was competing with those people and actually losing. So that's when I started, like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to think of how can I make my content better? I started making the videos longer, more detailed, better production value, like more serious. And that's when I started going up. But then I had to spend a month or 2 months on a video so that I could basically make videos that were next level, that I would see consistently get 1 million+ views. But I guess the problem with that is then, because I'm not just pumping out loads of little views and getting bits of money here and there, it does create the situation you're saying where it does become about the money. And I don't want it to be about the money, because I don't do this for the money. But you are right. And I would be lying if after the Eminem thing, I didn't say like, bro, I need to do a bit more of a street story, because that stuff does make more money. And it's not that I'm just chasing the money, because I wanted to do the Von video for months. Like, I'd had this idea of like, I should do a full-blown true crime documentary on Von with a serial killer angle. And that was a decision, that wasn't a money decision, but it was a decision of like, I know that's going to bang, because I think that's a good video. I want to sit and watch that video. Like, people have been saying for years, Von's got 7 bodies. Like, let's do the video where I
That's actually,
I sit down and determine. Does he really, like, the guy said it a million times on songs. I got 7 bodies, catch 3 more. I got counting on my toes, whatever. That was Young Boy, but all these lyrics about having 7 bodies. It just seemed like a no-brainer to do that video. And then it had the street angle, it had the success element. Because you bear in mind, in that video, it's not just me saying Von's a murderer. Like, I talk about his career, I talk about how great of an artist he is, I talk about the smart moves that he made to, like, get away from the streets. And then sadly, he kind of went running back to them. But, like, you are right. And there are stories that I would like to do that I don't do because I know they're not going to be profitable, or they're not going to be profitable. Like, and it's not all about profit. It's literally just about the fact that, like, bro, if I do 10 documentaries in a row that I know are not going to get more than 200k views, and I spend 2 months a piece on all of them, and I pay an editor to do them, I'm just going to go broke, and the business is like, I'm not going to be able to do videos anymore. So they need to bang. Like, they need to be getting 1 million plus if I'm going to spend 2-3 months on them. But bro, that's I guess that's just
life.
Is what it is.
It is life,
and I would rather worry about money and all the bullshit and not making ends meet, but make content I'm super proud of, than I would just, because this is the opportunity I've got right now. Keep doing what I'm doing in a way that I feel has integrity. There's no reason I couldn't take the other route and just be like, fuck it, let me just hire 3 script writers to just write me a 15-minute video on every hip-hop news story that's coming out every day, and I'll just record it, voice it, get some cheap editor to do it, we'll just bang it out. We'll just bang out 15-minute video every day. Like, I might make more money doing that if I do street news, like today's top demon who caught a body today, and just fire out 15 minutes of that every day. I would definitely make more money. That Hip Hop Daily motherfucker's definitely making more money than me. But I believe in what I do too much to do that. Like, I think in the long run, what I'm doing now is going to be remembered.
You've also got to find, in this world, you got to find your niche. Like, what your thing, you know?
I feel like I had my niche.
No, you have it.
People took it though before. Like, I feel like.
What do you mean you had it?
I was one of the first people doing. Well, I said one of the first. There are other people that were doing it really well, but I was one of the first people, I would say, consistently doing hip hop, like history, documentary content. There was a lot of people doing like little 10-15 minute hip hop news updates every day, but there wasn't many people doing what I was doing, which was. There was a period when I would do 2 videos a week, and it would be 10-15 minutes video, like Gucci Mane's murder case.
That's just how you started out, isn't it?
No, what I'm saying was, at the time, I was one of the only people doing that.
Yeah.
And so I was I was the guy. That's how I came up. But then so many people flooded into that space, making shitty 10-minute content that essentially still scratched the same itch as my content was scratching. So I had to innovate and say, let me go longer. Now the type of stuff I'm doing, no one's really doing. And I'm seeing a few people catch up, little 2.5 hour, like 50 Cent documentary, little 2-hour Young Boy documentary. He's just sitting here. So people are coming for me. But at the same time, like, I know I'm going to that next level where, like the Von documentary, it's not just a 3-hour Von documentary.
Does that scare you though? Not scare you, but you're like aware, like, oh shit, there's competition.
It does a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't think people can compete with like my passion or my work ethic. Like, other people are going to make 3-hour King Von documentaries. Right now, I feel like I've got the best one. My Young Boy documentary is going to be better than anything anyone has ever done on Young Boy. And like, I'm just trying to keep elevating myself. And, you know, I could see myself making like a 9-hour video or something someday. Like, because I know that I'm willing to take it to that next level. And I think there's so few people that would be willing to do that. Like, I'm going to drop a 5-hour Young Boy doc. No one's going to be trying to do that but me. You know what I mean? And that'll be like, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, no one's going to watch a 5-hour documentary, but I think people will watch it in 5-hour chunks, like a Netflix doc, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, you're going to do it in parts.
Well, I'm not going to drop it in parts. It's going to be one video. Because I think dropping a 3-hour video is like, psychologically, I think people respect it. Like, when I come out and it's like King Von doc, 3.5 hours, I think people are like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, no one's doing that. And I think that this is the thing, people see me do that. I need to drop a 4-hour one, and then people are going to be like, damn, like, he's still, like, he can't possibly go longer than that, and I'm going to do that. But there might come a point where it's almost like, it stops being about length, and it just becomes about, like, okay, how can I make it more like a movie now?
Well, that kind of leads on to the, like, next chapter, I guess, of, like, surely you just go knocking on a Netflix or a...
Yeah, I'd love to do Netflix. Like, I'd love to do something on a streaming service. But at the same time, like, even if that doesn't happen, you know, like, I love making YouTube videos, you know, hopefully they allow me to keep making content on their platform without too many issues. And you know, I'm really just trying to make the best content I can. I would love to do that on Netflix someday, but right now I'm blessed to be in this position.
You're not even fussed about, I think also the beauty of it is that you're building your IP on your turf kind of thing. And I think when someone comes knocking, it's great, but it's not your channel. It's not building up your legacy.
I agree. You know, but then again, I think if Netflix came knocking and they were like, we're going to do something and obviously we own all of it and you're making it for us. That's how it works with them, you know? So I would try it with them. I can't see myself like selling my catalog or something like that. But like,
God, that'd be crazy. Selling a catalog to like Netflix.
It's a weird thing. I mean,
selling your masters.
Who knows? Yeah, it might be crazy. But for me, I feel like the thing at least I have is like, I've got loads of ideas. I've got loads of passion, loads of energy. Like if it all went wrong tomorrow, I know I could make a new doc. Like, you know.
How do you stay like mad motivated? Because every time I meet you, you're always pretty energetic.
Man.
And like, just like, oh shit, I'm ready to get back to the next thing.
I think it's passion.
I'm go read this like book or watch like all this shit on YouTube for hours. I'm just like, God, how does this guy, he's really like motivated to just dive into the rap ocean.
I think it just comes from true passion. Like I wouldn't be able to do it. Like people said to me, like, bro, are you obsessed with King Von? And it's kind of like, well, yeah, I have to be. Like you have to be. Like you don't make 3.5 hour videos on a topic.
It's just a funny way to word some shit, though.
I feel like people have been saying that to me to try and catch me out. Like I'm gonna be like, no, but like I am. Like I wear that on my sleeve. Like I'm obsessed with Von, bro. I'd listen to all of his albums to death. Like I could name you, like so many of his lyrics. Like so many lit Von songs that I have worked out, got a sweat onto.
What's your favorite Von lyric?
Man, I mean, "Took Her to the O" is the best Von song as far as it goes. But what's the best Von lyric?
All right, or like most memorable.
Well, it's
"Took Her to the O."
Talk about bodies. I got a few. 4+3, 3+2.
Jesus Christ.
I'm King Von. N-word. Who are you? Like, it's just all the bodies ones, but it's like, it's the moments where Von has self-awareness. I think that is the most like impactful. Like, I don't know, because I disagree with so much of what he stood on, but like when you got a song like "Why He Told," where it's like a ballad, it's like a heartbreak song for true heartbreak that Von felt when he found out his friend snitched on him, and it's like it's a moving song. It's like, I don't know why he told. I can't say some of the lyrics from that song, but like it's like that feeling of like, man, his man's told on him and he's truly hurt. This tough gangster who's killed people. But you can hear the pain, like he's actually hurt. Like,
yeah.
He's betrayed and hurt, and like I don't know. He was just amazing at articulating these things, so that you can understand like the perspective of like a street dude or a gangster. And something I always really want to try and say is it's like this whole idea of like no snitching. I think is really bad. Like people want to talk about like Trap Lord Ross is bad for the urban community or whatever. Like I think if there's anything that is really bad for the community that is suffering from the most instances of like gang violence and gang lifestyles is this no snitching mentality. Because like
why?
There's something I think really toxic about this whole no snitching mentality, and what we're seeing with Thug at the moment is it's like it's all about let's blame our problems on a snitch. Like I got snitched on. Even Dirk, you heard Dirk say, if you're a rat, I hate you. I hate Gunna because he's a rat. My dad got told on. My father got taken away from me for 25 years because he got snitched on. No, he didn't. He got taken away from you for 25 years because he was running a major drug dealing operation and he got caught, right? I think it's really wrong that all of these guys blame snitches. Von blames the snitch. No, you were a killer. You killed people. You took somebody away from their mother in the community and someone turned on you, but you committed a crime and you're getting justice.
Yeah, but I questioned someone who was like in a circle and I was thinking like, yeah, I would snitch, like, to get out. But he's just like, nah, bro, because when you're given, like, I guess, an opportunity to make some money or welcomed into a gang or whatever, you're almost signing, like, a code or, like, you're signing your life to say, no matter what, I'm not going to snitch. So, Gunna going into YSL, for an example, I don't think any of it is true. I don't know what level he was on, but just for an example, he knew what he was getting into when back in those days, when he would join the gang, join this or join that. He knew like, okay, if any shit went down, I can't snitch. So there's that point of view as well. Like you can't just, oh, now I'm in trouble, I can snitch.
But think about it this way, right? Who benefits the most from us all in a gang and we're going to enforce the no snitching rule, right? The person that benefits is that guy at the top. He's the big gang member and you're a young G just off the block, right? And he's bringing you into the gang and he's saying, but you can never snitch. And I want you to go and shoot him for me. And if the cops find you shooting him, don't snitch and don't say I sent you. And you have to go and sit down and do life in prison for that. And essentially, it's like, to me, it's creating a toxic and abusive relationship whereby essentially you're, as the young G, expected to go and do a crime and then accept the consequences of it, on behalf of the guy at the top. Like I get what you're saying, but it's like, I don't think Gunna, we don't know, right? But I think Gunna was trying to do music and trying
think Gunna was
trying to get in that way. I don't think he was signing on to be part of a gang or Thug. The whole case is about Thug allegedly having this guy Big Nut killed like back in 2015. I don't think Gunna wanted his whole music career to hinge on this murder that he had nothing to do with. And like what Gunna's supposed to stay solid and do 20 years for young Thug having a guy killed in 2015 back when he was doing like lifestyle and shit. Like it's sort of it's all set up to protect Thug when really Thug deserves to be snitched on because he's doing all of this stuff. He's bringing all of these people in his circle. He got snitched on by his own brother as well as Gunna, right? And it's all we all should.
Oh, just recently.
Yeah. But like it's like we should all just put ourselves through 20 years of prison to protect Thug, who allegedly arranged to have somebody killed, which is wrong.
I totally agree, and I get that. And but bro, from the start, they know what they're getting into.
But here's the thing, right? It's like you say they know what they're getting into, but essentially there's actually no alternative, right? Because you're not coming into it from a position of power. Like it's like, for example, like me and you saying like,
but you don't join the gang.
I personally feel like I agree. I think you should be able to just not join the gang, but I think in a lot of these situations, like you don't really get a choice. So you got like 14-year-old kid on the block, and the older kid's getting him in to do this and that. The kid's not really got a choice, and then he's got to not snitch. Like, I just feel like in many cases, like snitching is the right thing to do, and you shouldn't be doing a crime to begin with. Now, that said, I got to take a big step back from that and say that there's a lot of people coming up in communities and areas where there's not a lot of opportunities, and unfortunately, they get sucked into the life of crime, which might be the only opportunity available to them at that time, right?
Yeah.
And so I do still have sympathy for the fact that, look, I'm not saying everyone's dumb for becoming a criminal or doing a crime or snitching or getting snitched on. And ultimately, it's sad that I think a lot of people get sucked into this lifestyle without even realizing it. But I think the whole not snitching mentality is actually very damaging to those communities, because ultimately they're then creating this situation where it's like, we should all be implicit in crime going on, and rather than seeking justice through, because snitching essentially is just like, that's just that, like, for someone to snitch, that is them basically switching teams from the criminals to the good guys. And actually, like, I think you should respect that. I know a lot of the police are racist, and listen, the police have got a lot of problems. I'm not big loving the police or anything, but like, ultimately, when you snitch, you're basically switching sides from the gang, the killers,
to the good side,
the good guys that are trying to stop the killers and get justice for the people who are dead.
Yeah, how do you think, because I guess to tie into your career, don't worry, I'm not gonna. Now, to tie into your career, obviously, a lot of these incredible artists are sadly from like a lower income or a community that isn't thriving. How do you think there's like and I feel like, bro, it's been such a downhill spiral for these people for so long. I mean, not forever, really. How do you think that's like overcome?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think, but here's the thing. I think a lot of people forget, like right now, we're sort of in this drill gangster rap era. Like it's the hot trending topic. But at the same time, there's been so many successful artists that don't have any of these problems. Like Kendrick Lamar never catches the RICO case.
No.
Like Logic never gets put in a RICO and has to snitch on somebody. You know what I mean? And even so, I know a lot of it, people focus it on the black community.
Yeah.
But you got 6ix9ine as a young Mexican kid that got caught up in the Bloods and snitched. And I still don't think he did anything wrong, but I think
he's thriving now.
Yeah, I think he is thriving. But I actually think for things to get better, I actually think we need to almost not embrace the snitching culture, but I think people need to have that open conversation to be like, you know what? like, these gangs are bad. Like Von, the stuff he did when he was alive, not good. Like, we should all be in agreement that, like, we shouldn't celebrate a guy that's a killer. We shouldn't all be promoting hip-hop music that's all about killing. Like, to me, the good hip-hop stories are the ones about people that overcame adversity. 50 Cent, he was involved in all of this gang stuff. He got shot 9 times. He got out of it. You never hear 50 Cent get in the RICO case now. He's a multimillionaire, successful. It's all about the music, TV shows, all of that stuff. You'd never hear it, right? And so I feel like we've got to get to a place where we're like celebrating the 50 Cents and the Kendrick Lamars and the Daves, and essentially just saying, look, like, Von made amazing music. He was an incredible storyteller. Let's continue to enjoy his music. But also, he clearly did bad things in his life and was contributing to the demise of his community rather than the improvement of it. And I think the snitching thing comes into that too. Like, the idea that, like, the whole hip hop scene was like, we're all going to ostracize Gunna. We're all going to, like, Lil Baby and Lil Durk, we're all going to turn our backs on Gunna because he snitched. I don't think Gunna did anything wrong. And I think Gunna just wanted to be a successful rapper and help the people in his life and help his community. I don't think he wanted to be involved in this criminal enterprise that Young Thug had going on in the shadows. And I think that things aren't going to get better until we all kind of, I say we all, but like people in hip hop just like agree. We're just going to be like, yo, let's negatively judge the people that are doing crimes.
However,
go on.
The negative shit is way more interesting than positive shit. Unfortunately. Facts. I don't really want to be hearing about King Von or I don't want to hear like one of these rappers, not to keep bringing up Von, Moneybagg or whoever. I don't want to hear them, unfortunately, really rap about, retiring on a beach. Sadly, the street shit and what they've been through is way more interesting and way more better to listen to than that kind of shit.
I agree. But I think also, like, an artist can, like, talk about their past in the streets and tell their story without promoting it or glamorizing it as a lifestyle. I think that's where people...
And that's the talent as well. That's the talent to be able to portray us like a story, to story tell, rather than, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
It's like, it's the difference between a movie and a documentary. I feel like 50 Cent, his music, it's like a movie. He's now telling this story of this lifestyle he lived, but he's not doing that anymore.
No.
And then you got someone like K Flock. That's a documentary where he's literally spinning the ops on Saturday, and then he's in the recording booth Sunday saying he spun the ops, and then Monday he's killing someone, and then Tuesday he's catching a RICO, and his career's over.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he regrets a lot of the shit that went down, how it went down, and ultimately, like, what I'm arguing is sort of true, because it's like after K Flock caught his body and got taken out of his career, literally at the height of his career, a lot of people were like, yo, you're dumb, like, you're a dummy, you crashed out. I think the idea of like crashing out and people in hip hop like not respecting crash outs and people that just throw their lives and careers away at the heat of the moment because they were angry or because they saw an op is like, I think it's good. Like, you should be clowned for crashing out. Like, you blew it. You're an L. You are not successful. Like 50 Cent, Rick Ross, that's a W. You're an L. Like, you crashed out. Even King Von, like, not to be disrespectful, but the guy died trying to have a fight. Like, he was a millionaire. He shouldn't have been trying to fight with people and create viral moments and fist fight an op. He got himself killed doing that, you know? And it's unfortunate. Like, I certainly don't wish death on anyone. I wish King Von was still here to at least answer for the stuff that he had going on. But like, he was still putting that negative energy out in the world, and it came back to him, unfortunately, fatally. And like, I think we all need to agree and just be like, yo, like, that energy is bad and you shouldn't be putting that out. Von's music, all about the lifestyle that he lived. If Von had truly, as he says in his music, killed 7 people and then just stopped all of that and became a millionaire rapper and was just rapping about, yo, this is the life I had to live, kill or be killed, like, I had to do what I had to do, I would respect that way more than him being like, yo, we're smoking Duck, we're still looking to kill Duck. FBG Duck gets killed by all of his mates and he's just loving it and like saying, this is what we do, no more FBG, we smoke the whole crew, all this stuff. Like, that's not respectable. And like, that's really sad, because I feel like that, like, I feel like people don't really appreciate that, where it's like, you had King Von, who's a millionaire, he got on and he's still funding the gang war, and he had a guy at FBG Duck who, let's be real, he'd had a couple of hit songs, but he'd not really flourished yet. He'd not really had his chance, and they fucking killed him before he had a chance. And they were all becoming musicians, getting out of the gang war. They should have all left that in the past. And look, I know it's easier said than done, but it's like, bro, like,
take a step back.
Take a step back, bro. And like, that is sad, because then it's like, now Von's dead, Duck's dead, hell, other people dead, and it's just like, bro, that's all missed opportunity, bro. Like, I loved Duck's music, I loved Von's music. Like, I would have loved another Duck album or another Von album.
I feel like your love for like Chirac is like the same with mine with like SoundCloud era. Like, I feel like when people like a Duck or a Von dies, like a part of rap dies with them, and it's like, fuck, man, like, never gonna be able to hear like their stories now, or like what they had to say, or like see them evolve as an artist. And I feel like it's such a sad part of rap when they die. It's really just like,
it's so sad,
it's
man.
So as bad, or however bad they did, or however good they did, you know, it's just like, sucks, man. Like, fuck's sake. Like, you always think I've always think about X. I'm like, damn, like, if only you just weren't there at that time, or like just a different move and you'd still be here, kind of thing.
Bro, you know, everything in hip hop will be different. Like, if we still had X, we still had Pop Smoke, or King Von, like, the whole direction of it would be different. And, you know, it's like with Von, it's like, I would have liked to have seen him continue living and hopefully do something positive and turn it around.
See what he does with his money.
But it's heartbreaking, man. I feel like people have this, the people that don't like me, I think they have this perception that I'm like, that a rapper gets killed and I'm like, yeah, new video. I remember when I found out Pop Smoke died, man, and I love Pop Smoke's music. Man, like, bro, at the time he was just my favorite. I was just spinning his mixtapes back to back. And then I was in the car and my boy told me, he was like, bro, Pop Smoke just got killed, like Home Invasion. Bro, my heart sunk, bro. It was like one of my friends got killed, bro. I was just like, no. And then not only that, I feel upset even thinking about it, but like, bro, this guy, Pop Smoke, he was just getting on, man, and he was so talented. He was taking it to a whole
new sound,
taking it to a whole nother level. Taking the UK drill, using the New York drill.
He was like the first one with Drake to put on like a lot of like UK drill producers as well.
Bro, he completely changed the game. And then just finding out he died like before he really had a shot to like go to really push through. Bro, just hurt me, bro. I remember hearing that news and just being like, no, like, fuck, man, like.
The stars align like that,
Like, this guy that like I really like and that I really want to see flourish. Like, I don't know him, like I have no connection to him, but I'm just like, bro, like this guy was like a shining star that like I was excited, like I was vested in him and his career. Like, I was excited to see where it went, to hear new music from him, and it's just over like that. And you're just like, bro, this guy's gone. Like, they give you the news, you think, like, when someone like my mate told me, he was like, oh, Pop Smoke just got killed, and I'm just like, nah, like, it's like, you're just like, nah, like, no way, like, this guy's just coming, this guy's just getting, bro, it hurts me, man, like, it genuinely makes me really sad.
And like, when you listen to their music now, I guess it's like almost like a silver lining, but like, you listen to their music now and it takes you right back to that time where you were like driving around listening to their music, or like a certain time in your life, you're like, fuck, that was a sick time. Like,
it means a lot to me, man. You know, certain Pop Smoke. Been listening to a bit of Juice WRLD again recently.
Really?
And just like old Juice tracks that just take me back to like the time in my life when like I really needed those songs, and they really like,
bro,
hit me on an emotional level. And like, I don't know, bro, these posthumous albums, like, they just don't hit. You can tell that they're not.
They do not hit.
They're not genuine. And, you know, who knows, they're going to probably start doing AI albums and shit next, but like, I'm not trying to hear that, bro.
Shit, man. Nah, that music just takes you back to a whole nother time where, and I feel like these guys, mysterious way, just pop up at the right time. You know, when you're a little bit sad or whatever, oh, Juice WRLD comes up, oh, Lil Peep or an X. And then when you're like, kind of getting in the mood, or like you're getting your shit together, Pop Smoke comes up. You know, all these different phases of your life, and they kind of all perfectly align up, I feel like.
Fully, man.
Just, it's a sad cycle that rap kind of, unfortunately, that's how the stars align for it.
Bro, it's messed up, man. And, you know, it is a dangerous occupation being a rapper these days. You know, a lot of people get killed, and it's sad.
Do you feel like a lot of these very successful rappers, you know, some of these guys are earning hundreds of millions. I obviously don't know what they're doing with their finances, but I don't see it enough being affected. But their communities are just a lost cause. I feel like there's some responsibility on them to, all right, I've made it out of here. My old block or my old hood is fucked. Let me put a little bit of money. I don't see that enough of like rappers trying to like invest back into their communities. It seems like a lot of them get on and just see you later.
Thing is, man, it's not always a good idea, you know, because that's kind of what Nipsey did.
Yeah,
and
is
then
it
look
that?
what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, gets fucking killed by a hater at his store in the hood. And it's kind of like, you know, I've heard from a lot of people that maybe in some of these areas where there's a lot of gang activity, there's a lot of like, there's sort of crabs in a bucket mentality of like, people don't like to see someone shining too much or someone gets out and people are jealous. You know, there's always haters and jealousy. And so I understand why some of these guys don't want to go back to their ends or their hood or like where they're from, because a lot of that's negative energy. Like they're lucky to have escaped that. And I will say, I totally get where people are coming from when they say like, oh, maybe me or even the rappers, they should donate or put some money back into the hood or whatever in the community. Look, fair enough if you think that that's how things should go, but like at the end of the day, bro, who's really responsible for these areas being in the gutter? Like it's the government, it's the local politicians, it's essentially like, I would probably say institutional racism in the long run that has allowed essentially not just black, but like black communities, Hispanic communities, just various minority communities around the world, these areas to get so fucked, so left behind, no resources, very little policing. I mean, look at Chicago and you hear these stories of all these people getting killed in O Block and all these gang wars because the police don't want to go there and they're not solving these crimes. All these 7 people Von allegedly killed, police weren't really trying to work out who did them because it was just... And, you know, this is really unfortunate, but it seems like the way they see it is it's just black people killing each other in the hood and they don't care. And so it's kind of like, look, I wish I had the solution. I don't know what would solve it, but I definitely think the city and the policing in these areas in O Block needs to be fixed. Trap Law Ross donating a couple of grand of spare money from a project to build a, not even to
what could you even do with a few grand?
Yeah, couple AC units in the community centre in O Block. Like what does that have to do when really the entire fact that a supposed serial killer is allowed to flourish and kill 7+ people allegedly in this area is really a failure of policing and politicians and development of these areas. Like, why wasn't a young King Von offered some kind of opportunity to get out of that environment or to do something better with his time? And so, to be honest, man, I don't take it to heart too much when people tell me that like I'm at fault, because I know that in the long run, one day there's going to be an opportunity for me to help some way. I don't know how that's going to be. I don't think just throwing money
and
donating. I would love to. I would love to do something that helps people that are struggling with essentially like coming from an environment where things are dangerous and that they can't seem to escape like a cycle of whether it's gang violence or poverty. But right now I don't see how I can really help effectively. But it's something I'm interested in, and I'm certainly in the long run. I just think one day I'll get to a point where I'll have an idea. You know, I'd love to start a charity or something one day. You know, I always thought like it would be cool to set up some kind of charity where you can kind of mentor young guys. Like if you could identify young guys in an area anywhere in the world that is essentially vulnerable to being sucked into a gang and find a way to like intervene and mentor that person and just save them from falling into that. That to me would be worthwhile. But right now, I just don't see like, I don't know a program like that.
There's no resources right now,
I can barely even just run my business, let alone start an amazing charity that's going to fix all the problems in the hoods. Like, you know what I mean? That's like lifetime vision type shit.
Of course it is, yeah.
But bro, I know my heart is pure and in the right place and that I do genuinely care about these issues and I do try and understand like the actual root causes of this stuff. Like, in the next couple of videos I'm about to drop, I actually kind of go quite deep in the history of like racism in America. Like when I'm talking about Youngboy with the new documentary, I'm going to have like a whole chapter where I essentially talk about like racism in the Deep South in Louisiana and essentially why these circumstances where this young guy was in such a difficult environment that he was catching attempted murder cases at like 16 and having his friends get killed when he was 10. Like in that video, I try and set up, I'm like, yo, there's actually a deeper underlying reason why this guy was in these dangerous and violent situations as a teenager. And like, again, I'm not gonna be able to fix it. I can't fix like 200 years of racism in America, but what I can do is make a documentary about the most famous rapper in Louisiana and just give a little bit of extra context to say like, people in Louisiana have, you know, ever since the Civil War, there's been these social issues that people have been trying to overcome, and music and jazz music and swamp music was a part of that.
Jazz music seemed crazy there.
All of that's built up to Youngboy and like modern day like Louisiana gangster rap. And it's kind of like, look, bro, like I just don't know what more I can do. I know people want me to donate to things and I just don't think that that's really the solution. But like right now, I think the best thing I can do is try and spread information and like give genuine, helpful perspective on these stories.
What I was going to say is, have you ever been to America?
Love America.
Have you been to Louisiana?
Never been to Louisiana. No, I want to go.
So I was just thinking in my head, like, how the music, I'd say a massive part of the music industry is run by or influenced by America, right? I always get this, like, I've been to Louisiana, bro, and it's just a wild place.
Yeah.
It's like Wild West shit out there.
No way.
And there's always something in the air where I'm always just like, how are these guys just, like, America, because we all know, like, America's just this crazy place that everyone's running around on some shit. There's money to be made. There's drugs to be taken. There's like all these experiences to be taken there. Like, and like you say, you go to Louisiana and there's like a young boy comes out of there, or like a New York and you got a Pop Smoke, or like LA and you got a Tupac. Bro, there's something in the air over in America that just breeds these like crazy talent of young crazy artists. And I just think, what is it over there that us in the UK don't have?
I personally think it's to do with like the idea of like the American dream. I think America, because it's such a young country, culturally, like I've always felt the idea of like an American dream to be very powerful. And that's always been the idea that like an immigrant can come to America and make something of themselves. Like in one lifetime, in one generation, you can live the American dream and go from nothing to become the big boss. That's like, that's always been the idea of the American dream. And that's always like, that's underlying in hip hop. You've got these young guys that have come from the hood, whether it's the Marcy Projects or 8 Mile Trailer Park, from nothing, and they can, through hip hop, live the American dream and become multimillionaires, leaders in their field. And we don't have that in the UK. In the UK, we've got very outdated, like we've got the class system. And in the UK, everything's all about you are your class. If you're working class, you stay working class. They don't like or encourage class mobility. We don't have a British dream. We don't have like the aspirational culture that America has.
You don't really touch on to much UK in your
Not much, no. Because most of my audience is America, and to be honest, just I've always been more interested in. I've always been more interested in American rap anyway. I would say I listen to more American.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I probably listen to like 80% American, 20% UK. Like,
interesting.
But even so, it's like when UK stuff drops, I'm into it. I got the new Bando K mixtape, which has been fire. Really enjoying that.
Yeah, shout out
the
Bando.
new Dave Central C EP. Obviously, that's been everywhere recently, and that's fire. But at the same time, like
it doesn't hit the same. It's different.
I feel like it hits me the same, but it's like it doesn't. There's not as many. Like, let's say there's probably been 3 or 4 more people that have dropped this week in the UK, and I'm not checking for all of them. But like the big ones, Bando, Central.
Bando's got a sick story as well.
Bando's got an incredibly deep story.
I heard something crazy about Sench last night.
Oh really? I'm gonna do a Central story this year.
Yeah,
I started writing it. I found some crazy shit, but
there's some.
I need to.
Yeah, there's some shit going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I won't. Like. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to expose him. But
nah, not at all. No,
I think he's super interesting. He's a really good example of somebody that's kind of like, he's street adjacent. He's sort of adjacent, like has this street aura to him.
Yeah.
But he's not gangbanging. He's not promoting violence. No one's getting killed over his music. I think he's a great example. Like he's a great role model. So
he's like but he's also like a perfect rap star, UK rap star.
And you know, that's through talent. And also, he is somebody that clearly has self-awareness, and he's thinking about making good music and also music that's going to appeal to a lot of people. Whereas some people, I think, they get caught up in this idea of like, I'm just trying to make the most hard hood music, but like, there's more important things going on. You know what I mean? There's like Central C's making songs for girls and for guys.
Yeah.
You know, he's making songs for the streets, but also for like TikTok. And he's smart, bro.
Would you ever do any sort of music I can imagine you find a lot of new music. Would you ever do any like music industry shit, like an A&R thing, or like a label thing?
I've always thought about doing like a little DJ Khaled type album where like I get like some of these rappers,
right,
like
that's what I was
curate
gonna say, like curate a tape.
I would like to do that, but from what I understand, it just seems way too expensive. It's like, oh, you got to pay this guy
studio time,
5 bags of verse or whatever, and you got to pay for the beat and all this stuff. It gets a bit complicated. It's like, for me, it's just like, bro, I just make a vid. Like, it's like a pipe dream. It's like, it'd be cool to like do the DJ Khaled thing, or like, there's that guy, was it Jack the Plug? He did a sick mixtape that was like UK US crossover. Like,
that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Do you think TikTok's ruined? Not ruined, but do you reckon it's made it too accessible to make music?
No, I don't even pay much attention to TikTok. Like, I never really am on there, and like I'm not really that about the TikTok stuff. I don't.
Well, everyone's picking up a mic now and making a tune.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But then I guess like a lot of it's shit. So it's kind of like the stuff that actually comes through and does well is generally usually pretty good. Yeah. I feel like TikTok's probably a good, genuine way of people like finding stuff they like. Like as a discovery tool, it's pretty on point.
Yeah.
It's like amazing discovery.
I think people have just got to be careful to, you know, you make a good song, just like don't put all your eggs in one basket because you're going to get signed for one song. And, you know, there's so many artists that come and go now. I heard a stat last night. One of these labels dropped $30 million of TikTok artists. Wow. They dropped them from their label because they had all fallen off. Damn. I was like, God, they wasted 30 M's. I was thinking, God damn, bro.
But the thing is, though, they probably wasted 30 M's, but they probably own everything that they made for life. And maybe long term they'll recoup it. But they don't give a fuck if they've ruined 50 people's careers.
Oh,
I guess.
100%, yeah.
But
yeah, it's an interesting one.
I don't know, man. I just feel like it's all this stuff. Like, I feel like underneath it all, whether it's TikTok or YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook, like, if the song and the video or whatever underlying is genuinely good, like, it'll find its audience no matter where it's being discovered, you know.
Interesting, yeah. Wicked. I think that's about it, man. I think we're pretty much wrapped up.
That was a sick convo, man. Appreciate
it. I want to just quickly ask before I wrap it, what's like a goal you're working towards, apart from the YB?
I basically wanted to drop 12 just banger videos, basically. And that started, I know that I've screwed up because I'm so behind and I'm having all these problems with editors and stuff. I want to drop a video every month, basically, and I want to drop a video on the level that I'm dropping them on.
Fucking hell.
Maybe not 3 hours, but like a movie length video every month. And I picked 12 story ideas that I think are just 10 out of 10 bangers. And so I started with the Eminem one. Even though I didn't think it performed as well as it should have, I still think that video is fire. And so it's like Eminem one, Von one, I got a Youngboy one, a Quando one, and then just like 8 more ideas. So it's like, for me, I just want to drop 12 videos that I'm so proud of with no filler, like no dead videos. Like before I felt like I was dropping videos and there'd be a bit of filler here, shit video there, good one there. I just want to drop 12 bangers back to back.
Over how long?
I wanted it to be a year, but we're halfway through the year. I've only dropped 2 videos, so I don't even know. But I'm hoping that slowly I can pick up the pace, improve my process, grow the team. So I'd like to say that like by this time next year, I would hope to have dropped 12 docs. I'm so proud of. But
we'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully I get close.
See. It's kind of nice though, working on like a doc, like a Von doc that you spend so long doing. You drop it, and it does have a lifespan. It does have a lifespan forever, but it also, like in those initial 2-3 months, that video gained crazy views.
Yeah, well, you know, that video particularly was difficult because like when I dropped it, then they were trying to take it down, and then they got it taken down, and I got it back. But setting that aside, you know, projects do kind of die after a month. That's why I want to drop one every month, because it's like it's sort of like you drop it and then it has its big moment and then it slows down and there's still people watching it, but then it hits once you get to a certain point where you're basically back where you started.
Got it, yeah.
And like the catalog grows every drop. You know, the catalog's getting bigger,
boom, boom, boom,
but at the same time, it's like nothing hits like a new video. You know what I mean? Like. Me not dropping, it's been over 2 months now since I've dropped. Like, I hate that, bro. It hurts me. Like, my DMs are full of people saying, when's the next drop? When's Youngboy vid? When's this? When's that? And it's like, bro, I don't know. I wish. The script has been sat there for ages.
Fuck. That must be so frustrating, man.
Hurts, man. But it's like, I know it's coming. They're going to get it. But like you say, it's like that month after you drop is just a crazy time because everyone's talking about me, everyone's talking about the video, everyone's finding new info, and people are reposting on Reddit.
Do you deep like how crazy your job is?
He's mad, bro.
Bro, I'm just sat here thinking like, okay, so his script is written. All he's got to do now, I don't know if you've recorded it, but a huge part of your job is to sit up in your office and go and read the script and record yourself reading the script. Bro, that's a crazy job.
It's weird, bro, because it's like, I bear in mind, like, I'm quite private and like I don't go out partying or doing no crazy shit. Like, I'm just live a very humble life. But it's so weird for me if I go to like an event or something, I meet new people and trying to explain what I do. It's like, what do you do? It's like, I basically like
Culture Vulture.
Culture Vulture. It's like I basically monitor hip hop history at all times, and then I try and pick the most important thing going on, and I try and then find out everything anyone has ever said about this topic and turn it into a movie. And then, at least in the case of the King Von thing, I fucking release it, and then I have a million people that want to argue with me about it.
Yeah.
And then like when the Von thing, that was the first time I felt like I'd done a really successful launch. And it was like, I dropped the video and I kind of went on like a press run, like having arguments with people about it and doing press and doing interviews and doing like, defending myself, promoting it. That was the first time I felt almost like, you know, like when a movie drops and people do a press tour and they go and do
of course
tours in different cities. It felt like that. I'm just doing it all at home on Zoom. But like, you know, I'm hoping that going forward, each video I drop is big and has big impact. And then I can kind of do a campaign around it and try and talk. Like for me, ideal world would be I drop a documentary about Youngboy and then Youngboy wants to do a live with me and ask me about it. You know, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah,
who knows if we'll get there?
I was actually going to ask that.
But that'd be lit.
A goal or a dream of yours would be actually to talk to a lot of these artists and like do like almost like an Elliot Wilson kind of vibe where you really sit down and pick their brains about this and that and kind of in a relaxed tone as you do, not just like a direct like put them on blast, but really to discover what they're about. I could see you doing that, and you kind of did with Stitches. I swear you spoke. Or you were going to.
I spoke to Crip Mac. I was going to speak to Stitches.
You were going to speak to Stitches, yeah.
But I did speak to Crip Mac for that, and I would like to do more of that. I think that's like the end game, like to get to the point where I'm at the level where I can actually go and meet people and put that in the documentary. But at the same time, I think right now, I don't want to overcomplicate what I'm doing. Like right now, it's just all about me finding the facts. Like I'm so concerned with facts and just like, right, we're doing a Youngboy doc. Let me just find the facts about him, all the facts.
But does that make you not think like you're not? In my head, I'm always like, shit, I'm just sat in my office working or doing this or that. Do you not have like FOMO of like missing out or like there's more to be had? Like, bro, I'm making a documentary on King Von or I'm making a documentary on YB. Now, I could probably get in touch with someone at his team and try sit down with him. Maybe not YB to start off with, but like a smaller person. Or is it just like, fucking hell, that's long I got to fly out to the States.
Yeah, it's long. That's partly the reason. You know what though? I've always found it quite hard to like confront my own success. And only recently, really, since the Von video, have I been able to be like, oh shit, like I'm actually lit. Like I could actually...
You could.
Like off the back of that, like hella people, even seeing like Lil Durk react and say my documentary was all cap. To me, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like how is Durk talking about me? And it's only recently that I'm like, oh shit, I actually might be able to get Youngboy on the phone, maybe. Like
you probably
that's a long
could,
shot,
yeah.
but like maybe.
Yeah. On the phone would be, yeah.
I see a few NBA people and watching my stories and that, so I reckon I could get in there a little bit, but shit. Like I only recently have I realized like shit, I could actually do that. But you're right, I think it is long. Like if I was having to fly to Louisiana every month and do all this stuff and arrange it all, or I just wouldn't be able to get it done. So it's like for now I think I just want to dominate what I'm doing, and I think hopefully that will get me to even another level where I could then start going and doing like a in-person thing.
I know I was going to end it, but you've never like spoken about like almost like the troubles and like challenges you've had to overcome, because I'm mad vocal about it on my Instagram, maybe a little bit too vocal and a little bit too open, but a big thing for me is trying to like, because there's always so many kids just saying, or like not kids, but just younger guys or girls, I want to do this, I want to do that. Bro, you can do it kind of thing. But you've never really spoken about the challenges or anything you've had to overcome. But in reality, you've been doing this, 10 years, 7 years? And like you said to me the other day, you've failed multiple times but I don't think anyone really knows that.
Yeah, I've been YouTubing for 8 years and it didn't pop for 4.
So 4 years you were just like...
Just getting no
ticking
views.
Along.
And just making videos all the time. I made over 100 videos, like comedy sketch, stand-up, reaction video, interviews, literally trying everything.
Yeah.
Until something worked. And like had a few tiny little things like nearly successful in that time. But like, you know, it was only really when I got into the hip hop stuff that... It was really when I found like a clear focus for the channel that things started to take off for me. But even then, as things have gone on, I still have hella issues. Like my business is a mess right now, but it's like,
likewise,
it's so hard. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hard out here to run these things, but like I've had to overcome a lot to get to this point, but still I think the ceiling is so much higher now that like I can literally, I know that I can take this thing way further, but it's almost a case, like it used to be a case of just like, bro, I could take this further if I just work harder, if I just make more videos, sleep less, grind more. Whereas now it's at the point where it's like, damn, I can't really get any further unless I find the right people and the right team. And I've unfortunately had the issue recently, no disrespect to anybody, but I've been working with some certain people that just weren't the right fit, and like, just realizing like, this isn't a right fit, or like, or like, my projects are very long and complicated and hard work, and like, that's not for everybody. And, it's difficult when you get into it with people, and then it's just sort of like, you thought you could handle doing this, but you actually physically trying to actually work with a 3.5 hour documentary is harder than you thought.
It's big, yeah.
So it's tough, man. And I'm still trying to find the right people. And, like I say, no disrespect to anyone, but it's just like, it's tough when
it's a nightmare,
you're cycling through different people, and people, this is the worst thing, I think, when you've got like a fame or some following or some clout, you attract a lot of people that really just want to be involved and want to try it on. But then when they get to it, it's like, oh shit, this is harder work than it looks.
I've had people like that for sure.
Yeah, and so that's tough because it's difficult. Because as well, when people are fans and stuff, you want to be nice and you want to give them that opportunity. But then also it can be hard when you see them not really working. Right. And it's kind of just like, and I feel like at a certain point I've had to become like quite tough and ruthless, and
it's not in your character really, but you have to.
It's tough though, because I feel like, if I'm honest, like to open up a bit, I just feel like recently over the last 6 months or so, I feel like I've just become so like cold and hard, and I just find myself like having dealings with people, and I guess being like rude or like blunt with people, but it's almost like I feel like I've just run out of patience, and I find myself like having like having like, I don't want to say arguments, but like tense back and forth with people of just like, bro, can you do this? Like, can you get this done? If you can't, I need to go somewhere else. And then just feeling really bad afterwards, feeling like I'm a bad person, like I'm being a dick. But it's like, bro, like to manage and run this operation and deliver, like top priority for me is delivering great content. And it's just so hard to do that and to manage people, and no one's going to believe in it as much as I do.
I know. So, well, yeah, that you got to be, someone said it before, like you got to be like so delusional to believe in like your own ideas and thoughts. And I think I'm in that phase right now. I'm just like so far over here, and everyone's like, what the hell? But you've got to, and you've got to believe in your own shit. And someone's coming in and you're giving them an opportunity to work alongside you and with you on incredible projects that have potential to have like incredible return as well. And it's like, bro, just tell me straight, man. Like, I don't really want to hear your life story. I just want to say yes or no. If not, I'll go find someone else, but don't waste my time, kind of thing. Because sadly, like, there's only so many times you can be nice to someone as well. Yeah. Like, you give them the opportunity, you're paying them. All right, so come through and actually get the work done. Don't tiptoe around and this and that, man. You can't be messing with someone else's business, bro.
Bro, it's messed up, man, because I think as well people don't realize, like, that's the thing. It's like, bro, this is your business. This is my business. Like, this is my life. Like, this is literally me. It's not, it's like my business, my channel, it's not separate from me. Like, it's me. Like, it's a part of me. Like, it represents my feelings and the things I'm interested in. And it's just kind of like...
And like your family and your friends and you're like, they got your life in your hands, essentially, like a little bit. You're now delaying my future plans and my life a little bit.
Yeah, facts.
And people don't kind of deep that. It's like, oh, yeah, it's just a job.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, letting you down is just... It's just a
YouTube video.
It's just me having more shit going on. It's just like, bro, it's not like, that's the thing. It's not just a YouTube video. And I think as well, to have gotten to this point, like, I see my work as really important. Like, they're not just YouTube videos. Like, whether or not you like me or whether or not you agree with what I do, like the Von video, for example, I personally think that's a really important I felt like that's a really important statement to make on like the state of hip hop, where everybody's celebrating murderers and killers and saying these are good people that we should look up to. Like, that video, I felt that was an important moment in hip hop, to state
someone to stand up,
to plant the flag and be like, yo, this is not cool.
And it's
like,
you to stand up.
And it's me, this fucking nerdy white guy who everyone's going to have a problem with
this
saying
fucking
it.
Guy.
But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, and again, with that project, the editors that I was working with, kind of were having a hard time with it. And I had to kind of step in and finish the project. And it's kind of that thing of like, is not important to them. But to me, it's really important, not just for me to make money, but it's really important for this, for me to put this idea out in the right way. And it needs to be framed the right way. The video needs to be edited in the right way to communicate this idea effectively. And
100%, bro, yeah.
It's super important. Like, somebody needed to stand up and say, Von's not a nice dude. Like,
nah, man.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not just being a hater. It's like, I think for hip hop to like heal and go forward, it needs to like, somebody needs to say like, oh, this gangster stuff's not cool. Like, you shouldn't join a gang. You shouldn't spin and slide. Like, that's bad. And no one's really doing that. And I feel like it's important. But again, to the next person, it's just a job. It's just like an internship. It's just a bit of fun, a bit of money or whatever. And like, bro, it's so much more important than that.
Of course it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Damn. We didn't really put it like that. Like, you are the guy to stand up and kind of, yo, this ain't cool kind of thing. But,
you know, not that he's not a good artist and not that he's not wasn't a talent and left a huge mark on hip hop, but also like a lot of the ideas that he was pushing were negative. And this is the thing. It's like, I'm not pushing those. Yes, I made a 3-hour video about a gang member. I'm not pushing membership of a gang. If you actually listen to what I say, all of those videos where I talk about gang membership, I say, this is not to be glamorized. This is not cool. Look at the outcome of this situation. Yeah. You don't want to be in this situation. And not many people are doing that, I would say.
No, you really stood up. Shit. I didn't actually think of it like that. From a whole nother perspective,
I'm trying to be positive. You see someone like Charleston White doing the very extreme version of that.
Super.
He did the thing where he was like, death to all gang members, like death to Draco the Ruler, King Von. Like, that's a very extreme. But he's just trying to go to the extreme to make people pay attention. Whereas for me,
I was going to say that,
I'm trying to do it subtly, but I'm trying to make the content so good that the content's big and viral. But
you do it in a way that's like factual and like, oh shit, I didn't know that. Oh shit, this and that.
I think when people see like my No Limit video, for example, Chicago's Deadliest Gang, it's almost like I'm enticing you in with the promise, almost like this bloodthirsty gangster story. But then you actually listen to the statements I make. You know, even in that video, there was a quadruple homicide, and there's the mother of one of the victims is at the crime scene breaking down and crying. And I put that in the video, and that's not to exploit them. That's to say, yo, this is the consequence of this stuff. Or even in my Youngboy video, his cousin Boozilla gets killed, and there's a vigil a year after his death where his mother's speaking to the other young men and saying, look, all this sliding, this is what it gets you. And I feel that shit's important to put in there, because it's not all about sliding and guns, bang, bang, pulled up with a Draco. It's like, yo, here's the crying mother of the person that actually got hit with a Draco. This ain't cool. This ain't sexy. And like, again, people don't really pay attention to that. That's like, I've made a conscious decision. I could have not put a crying mother in the video, you know what I mean? And just had everything looking like the ammunition gun store. But it's like, I got to make sure every video I'm trying to make sure, let me talk about the history of slavery in Louisiana. Let me make sure I put a crying, grieving mother in the video so that I can show the real consequence of this stuff. But also, yes, let's listen to all the lyrics of Von talking about bodies on top of bodies.
It's good to hear you like kind of get your point across, because you don't really speak on like niche topics like this almost. And I think now people hopefully get a bit more of an idea that, oh shit, Ross is actually, it's not just to be like shock factor or like for a view. It's actually more like an educational kind of thing in a way, where it's like, oh, this is the consequence and can't be fucking around. This shit is real life, and this is what America is really. I mean, rap is kind of, that's the theme of rap right now. So yeah, well, props to you for standing up and fucking being the guy to do it. And who knew it'd be like a guy from the middle of nowhere, looking like how you do, like white nerdy guys, you say.
It's funny though, I think sometimes, you know, maybe by accident, like that's actually what ends up making it work. Like,
I do, yeah.
Maybe some people are too close to
the opposites to
the
always
content.
Attract,
I'm an outsider, but at the same time, like I'm trying to increase my understanding of all this stuff. Like, you know, I would debate. This is the thing. I would debate with anybody that has an issue. You know, when I had the conversation with Van Lathan and Chicago King Dave, you know, we started the conversation. He's kind of like, oh, you're wrong for doing this. And over time, I felt the conversation turned positive. We could see where we were both coming from. So, I'm glad I'll take any opportunity like this to sit down and just like elaborate.
It's good to clear this shit up kind of thing. Because on Instagram, you might get a little bit frustrated and say this or that. Or in your, like I said, in your video, it might come off in a way where you're trying to just make a documentary, or not glamorize it, but just say, oh yeah, this is hip hop, this is rap, like don't get involved. Like, but now you're clearly a little bit more of a. It seems a little bit more sincere. I don't know. Maybe that's why some people comment in a way they comment, but we'll never know. We'll never know. Ross is just out here trying to do God's work, man.
Bro, God's plan.
He's trying to, yeah. All right, yeah, I appreciate you coming. I don't know what episode this is. I don't know where this will be placed. But like I said, it's a very casual conversation with my friends that do cool shit. Hope you got a little bit more of an insight into Ross and his world and what he wants to do and what he wants to achieve. And he's not a fed.
Not fed.
He ain't a fed, and he's actually passionate about this shit. This ain't just like some YouTube check he's trying to chase. Like genuinely, like real love for this rap shit. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on and talking your shit, and yeah.
Thank you, man.
All good. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Sick, man.